Hi YouTube. It's been a very long time, but y'all was on my mind and I really wanted to make a video, and I was thinking about some stuff and it just kind of fits, so I'm hoping I can explain it the way I was thinking about it. So I was sitting down somewhere next to some people and we were all quiet, and I was thinking to myself that just like I'm thinking to myself right now, these people are thinking to themselves too. But nobody knows what anybody's thinking about because no one's saying it out loud. And it made me realize that most people live more in their inner world than they do on the outer world. And it's like how much peace we have in this inner world determines how much peace we project to the outer world. So I was reading Ephesians 2, and it kind of explains that. Like, there's certain things I used to do just automatically without thinking about it. And for example, complaining used to be one of them. I used to, if somebody would say something, I would automatically complain. And it wasn't until somebody asked me why I answered something in a certain way that made me realize that's what I was doing. And I thought to myself, like, yeah, I realize I do that, but that's not something I want to do. So I start intentionally trying to change that because I didn't want to project so much negativity when I wasn't even trying to. It just was an automatic response. So to me, that made me start thinking about, like, are you truly even living if you aren't making decisions for yourself? Like, the body, for example, when you're a child, you don't really get to make too many decisions for yourself. You get to make some, but most 9 times out of 10, whoever your guardian is or your parents are making decisions for you, and you just have to go along with it because they're your authority at that point. But it isn't until you're 18 or out of your home that people consider you an adult and that you're technically making decisions for yourself. And then at that point, that's when you're considered to be living because you're making all of these choices for yourself. So when I was reading Ephesians 2, it was basically saying how because Jesus came and gave us the spirit to the body, it allowed us to live through him. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Like, before, I was just doing stuff automatically. That was just my natural body's response, my flesh's response to the natural. Even if it was just from natural things that caused me to think those ways, to respond those ways. But it wasn't until the spirit, or me learning and knowing and being filled with the Spirit, the Holy Spirit, or knowing Jesus Christ or knowing his Father, just it wasn't until these things took place that I was able to choose the way that I wanted to respond. And a lot of those choices come off as a reflection of what Jesus did or how Jesus lived. And it affects how I choose to project out into the natural. Like, with every situation out in the natural, there's still an internal dialogue on how to respond in the natural. Do some things happen automatically? Yes. But at that point, is it really me that's making these decisions, or is it a spirit that's making that decision? Like, there's so many things that people title to a spirit. Like, they'll say, I don't know, like a angry spirit, a lazy spirit, or I can't think of nothing specific right now. But a lot of those are aren't something that you naturally want to respond in. They most of the time come as automatic responses, and it isn't until you actively